Hello everyone, here we are looking at Unit 3, Lesson number 2. This is the lesson on two-step equations, Part 1. So we've already looked at one-step equations previously, and we're just going to be taking those same ideas and applying them to more developed equations. So we see that our learning goal here has 2 points. Equations can be solved using opposite operations, just like in last lesson. And two-step equations have two operations that must be canceled out in order to solve. So whereas we had one operation in our one-step equations, we now have two operations to deal with. Our success criteria is to solve two-step equations using opposite operations, and once we've completed the lesson, we have our practice worksheet, which would be linked right there on the hub. To start, we're going to review our operations. We have four operations. They are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And we remember from last lesson that each of our operations has an opposite operation that can be used to cancel it out. And so we see that our operations have a matching opposite operation. So for addition, the opposite operation is subtraction. For subtraction, the opposite operation is addition. For multiplication, the opposite operation is division. And for dividing, the opposite operation is multiplying. So, if you see an operation of adding, you'll undo it by subtracting. If you have an operation of subtracting, you undo it by adding. An operation of multiplying, you will undo by dividing. And an operation of dividing, you will undo by multiplying. So now we're going to take a quick review of how we use opposite operations on a one-step equation before moving on to our two-step equations for today. So here we have our first two examples. We've got x plus 3 equals 5 and x minus 4 equals 15. We're going to do each one individually. To start, we see here that in x plus 3 we are adding 3, and we need to get that away in order to solve for x. So we are going to use the opposite operation. The opposite of adding is subtracting. So instead of adding 3, we subtract 3. And whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. So we will subtract 3 over here as well. This will allow us to do 3 minus 3 and cancel out. That leaves us with just x on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we will take 5 minus 3, giving us an answer of x is equal to 2. And that would be our final answer for this one-step equation. We can check this by doing a left side, right side check. We have x plus 3 on one side, we have 5 on the other. So we would use 2 as x. 2 plus 3 would give us an answer of 5. And on the other side we have 5. So our left side is equal to our right side. We know that we did our work correctly. We're going to try our second example here, where we have x minus 4 equals 15. Here we are subtracting 4. So the opposite of subtracting is adding 4. And we'll do that to both sides. That will allow us to cancel out our subtraction of 4 and addition of 4 because those are the opposite operations, leaving us with x on the one side, and on the other side 15 plus 4 gives us 19. That will be our final answer for our second example. And we can do a quick left side, right side check to find out if we're right. So x minus 4 on one side and 15 next we have 2x equals 18 and x over 3 equals 4. In our first question, our 2 here is attached to the x. That means that we are multiplying. So the opposite operation of multiplying is dividing. We will divide by 2, and we will divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 cancels out to 1, and that leaves us with just x. On the other side, 18 divided by 2 is 9. So there's our final answer for our one-step equation. We'll do a check again. So we've got 2 multiplied by x, and we've got 18. So 2 times 9 is going to give us 18. The other side was 18. Left side and right side are the same, so we know we did our work correct. In our last one-step review question, we are dividing by 3. The opposite operation to dividing is multiplying, so we're going to multiply by 3, and we're going to multiply by 3. Remember that the brackets around the number means multiplying. 3 divided by 3 will cancel out, and that will leave us with just x. On the other side, we'll do 4 times 3 to get 12. So that would be our final answer. We'll do one last check for this. We've got x over 3, and on the other side we've got 4. So we're going to take 12 and divide it by 3. That's going to give us an answer of 4. The other side is 4. So our left side, again, is equal to our right side. So the reason we did this review was to go over how each individual operation gets canceled. We're now going to look at questions that have 2 steps to them, so 2 different operations that we have to deal with. Our first question is 2x plus 3 is equal to 5. So we have addition of 3 and we have multiplication by 2. And we need to go about simplifying and solving this question. So we don't have any brackets here. We have 2 times x plus 3. And on the other side we have 5. This means the first step should be dealing with adding or subtracting. Okay, remember, if there's no brackets, deal with adding or subtracting first. And we just put a little reminder there so that we can work through this question. So we deal with adding or subtracting first. Well, we've got plus 3, so we will use minus 3 on both sides to cancel that out. Plus 3 and minus 3 cancel, leaving us with 2x. And on the other side, 5 take away 3 is 2. So we've completed one of our 2 steps. We now need to address this multiplication by 2. So we do the opposite operation to multiplying. We divide by 2 and divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we are left with 1x. On the other side, 2 divided by 2 is 1 as well. So our answer should be x is equal to 1. We'll do a quick left side, right side check in order to tell if our answer is right. So we've got 2x plus 3, and on the other side we have 5. So we're going to do 2 multiplied by 1 plus 3. Remember, we're using this 1 because we found that x equals 1. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 gives us 5. So our left side is equal to our right side. That tells us that we've done our work correctly. So we're going to look at a few more 2-step equations just so that everyone gets lots of practice. Our next example is 3 times x minus 4 is equal to 9. Notice that we have brackets here. Brackets cause us to have to do things a little bit differently. We can't address anything inside of these brackets until we deal with that 3 outside. And so there we just have a little reminder. If your equation has brackets, deal with the number outside the brackets first. Well, our number outside the brackets is a 3, and that 3 is multiplying because we have the bracket. What this says is 3 times x minus 4. So in order to undo multiplying, we have to divide. We'll divide by 3, and we will divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 cancels, leaving us with x minus 4 on one side, and on the other side, 9 divided by 3 is going to give us an answer of 3. We still need to deal with this plus 4, so we'll use the opposite operation, and we will add 4 to both sides. I think that I just said we have to deal with this plus 4. Obviously, that is not plus, that is minus, and the opposite operation to minusing is adding. So we'll deal with our minus 4 and plus 4, allowing us to cancel. So x is going to equal 3 plus 4, which is 7. We'll do our left side, right side check. So we've got 3 times x minus 4, and on the other side we have our 9. Okay? So we're going to do 3 multiplied by our value of x, which is 7, minus 4. 3 will be multiplied by 7 minus 4. 7 take away 4 gives us an answer of 3, so we get 3 times 3. 3 multiplied by 3 gives us 9, so our left side equals our right side. And there we are. Okay, so we have 2 more questions to deal with. Here we see x divided by 2 plus 1. We're divided by 2, and we're adding 1. If you recall, a question that has no brackets will be dealt with by first canceling out the addition or subtraction, and then dealing with multiplication or division. So, to begin, we are going to have to use our opposite operation to adding, which we know is subtracting. This means we will subtract 1 and subtract 1, allowing us to cancel out the 1's. This leaves us with x over 2, and on the other side, 11 take away 1 gives us 10. We now need to deal with our division of 2. We undo dividing by multiplying, so we'll multiply by 2, and we will multiply by 2. This means that we will have our 2's cancel, leaving us with just x, and on the other side, 10 times 2 is 20. We'll do a quick left side, right side check again. We know we've got 11 on the one side, we've got x over 2 plus 1, so we're going to have 20 divided by 2 plus 1. Well, 20 divided by 2 is 10. Plus 1 gives us 11. So our left side equals our right side. And we're going to go through one more example together for today, and that will be all. And so here we have our last question. We have x minus 3 divided by 4 is equal to 2. Now, there's no brackets visible, but realistically, x minus 3 is in brackets because we have to deal with this dividing by 4 first. Okay? So, just like we saw in previous questions, we deal with what is not in the brackets first. Here we have divided by 4. If you're dividing by 4, we'll undo it by multiplying by 4. So we multiply both sides by 4. 4 and 4 cancel. That leaves us with x minus 3 is equal to 2 times 4 gives us 8. We now need to deal with our subtraction of 3. So we add 3 to both sides, leaving us with x being equal to 8 plus 3. That gives us 11. Alright, and so we'll do our final left side, right side check over here, knowing that we've got x minus 3 divided by 4 being equal to 2. So 11 minus 3 over 4. 11 take away 3 is 8 over 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So our left side equals right side. Okay, so that's it for today. We've done a review of one-step equations, and we've shown how to cancel out adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing in a question. And we then put them together by doing two-step equations. So I would suggest that while you're working through your worksheet, you keep this video available so that if you get stuck on anything, you can come back, look at the examples, and use that as a help to how to approach the question. You also have all of the answers to the questions on the last page. All right, good luck everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, and bye for now.